Greetings, this is Scholar Saunders Singh. What's current? This is not a trending topic whatsoever. It's not even news that's been spread out throughout the regions outside of Delaware, my home state, and the state where I currently reside. But I thought this was an interesting story to cover. Um, it includes some, graphic material, so beware, be careful if you're queasy or lightheaded or have a weak stomach. It's definitely has some graphic issues that are contained in it, so beware of that. Where do I begin? I think I can just begin at the beginning. Let me see. His name is Rafael Murillo. Rafael Murillo. He has schizophrenia. He nearly beat a woman to death with a baseball bat. Or excuse me, a man, not a woman. Mr. Tom is what he's going by. They're not releasing his name for protection of the family. But a woman witnessed him do this and called the police, called the authorities. And Maria was, hauled off to prison. Has since been in the mental hospital, the Delaware State Hospital, I think it is, and the inmate sector. It's a sad, depressing kind of story. I'm bringing everybody down, but it's very enlightening to get these stories. The writer is Isabel Hughes. She is an investigative reporter covering public safety and breaking news in Delaware. A Boston area native, she graduated from Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. Prior to moving to Delaware, she worked in both the city and at metro area newspapers. So that's just a little bit of background about the author. There's an editor's note. And this is a 3-part series, so I'm probably going to stretch this into Tuesday, most likely. Yeah, this is a very serious topic, very personal topic for myself. I have bipolar disorder. I'm big off the pig because I mean it's funny, but it's not funny. But the psychiatric drugs, they do a number on you. There's a beautiful young LGBTQ woman. She's not trans. She's actually a woman. She was famous for her beatboxing. She is famous for her beatboxing skills. Her name is Butterscotch, and she was just a little thin, just a small little, little thing, and she's been taking her drugs that people like to say medication, meds, whatever, and she blew up. She got real big. She got really big, heavy. Hello, Irish bro. I'm not your bro, but salute to you. Salute. Hello from Ireland. See, I have an international show. I have people from Denmark, Estonia, Canada, UK, all over the world. So I appreciate your patronage. I appreciate your viewership. Do you have Cash App? Do you do Cash App or PayPal? I think I can do that right now. Oh, wait a minute. Let's do PayPal tonight. I think that's more universal. I don't know what it is, but with this light on me, my nose just gets to itching. I don't know why. My nose is itching. I'm not on the powder. I'm not on any of that funny stuff. That nose candy, that devil's dandruff. Okay, there we go. What does it say? Brian, bruh got that 1950s mobster fit. Not your bruh, but I appreciate you for tuning in. I have a somewhat serious kind of show. I might be laughing at sometimes, ha ha he he, But for the most part, this is going to be a serious show. It's all about my home state. This is a very selfish show. Every show is selfish for me, but this is very selfish. Um, it concerns me. It's part of my it's something I have a value for. I'm invested in this story. So if you could just hit me up with a PayPal donation. PayPal is paypal.me/SKYLERSAUNDERS. Scholar, sorry, is that spelled right? All right, just hit me up. But anyway, okay, so this is a 3-part series. They don't have part 2 for some reason on the website on the MacBook. But I think you can access it on your mobile device. All right, so it all pretty much started with this kid. He was being bullied when he was younger. He was kind of overweight. He had some friends. Mario, they're not even mentioning the mother's last name for fear of the stigma behind the mental illness. He was in the exact same place that I was. There's a place called Rockford Center. Some of my family members have been there. I've been there. I've been there twice. Once for a month, and like the next time was like a week or a few days or something like that. I can't remember exactly how long, but I remember the first time was a full month. So Luna, bad boy. Luna, are you a female? Are you a transgender? What are you? Are you able to send a PayPal donation? Yeah, it was kind of like it hit home for me. I was like, I know what Rockford Center is like. It's a quiet thing because I seen a fight almost break out if the officials didn't take care of it. If nobody took care of the fight, then somebody would probably gotten hurt. Seriously. It's not the place you want to be, but it was a funny thing when I was with one of my case managers. I guess you can call her that. I don't know. I think she can call it case manager. She was like, "You're back for your pit stop," and I was like, my eyes went wide. I was like, "Exactly. That's exactly how I see it. I'm a high performance vehicle. I'm a high performance race car, and I just hit the side, hit the wall. And I need to go to the get to my pit stop, get to the pit." But overall, the story is about a young man who tried to hold down jobs, try to have a regular life, trying to live his life. The hell is this? Oh, that was part 1. I'm like, what the hell is part 1? Okay. He was 5'11", 320 pounds. So he's my height. I'm 5'11", but he's 320. I'm like 205. So that's a big guy. This is a huge guy. And his sisters called him a teddy bear. There was some insults, some things that were hurled at him during this time period. It's just sad, really. It's just a really sad situation. Sam Cox. Actually, what am I taking donations for? That's the question you have? The reason why is in the question you have. I'm taking donations for. That's what I'm taking donations for. That's all you need to know. Because it takes $20 for me to answer questions. If you don't have $20, you can keep it skipping, keep it moving. That's my that's the answer. To answer your question, you have to donate $20 to my PayPal account or my Cash App. Right now, it's up there as PayPal. So he had his struggles. He was pretty big, and it's sad because he lost. He had dieted correctly. He had the right nutrition plan. He had the right exercise program, but he gained the weight back again, and it just kind of went off the rails after that. Here's a quote from the article itself. There is no simple answer as to whether the attack could have been prevented. Instead, what follows is a complex investigation of how Murillo's schizophrenia progressed to the point of the November assault and his family's year-long attempts to help. Here's a little bit of his childhood. Oh, wait, let's see this. Brian says, dude, you're never getting $20 to get any questions. You got a random fedora hat. You playing yourself. Okay, Brian, first of all, it's a Trilby cover. And I've gotten thousands of dollars, over $1,000, and I've gotten at least $100 a day in some cases. So you don't know what you're talking about, dude. Just because you don't want to donate doesn't mean somebody else won't donate. So I think you played yourself already. So I was saying with Murillo, just a background, his childhood, it was kind of rough. He was born in December of '93. His mother, Juana, they're not releasing her last name for protection. She immigrated from Mexico at age 14 and married the young man's father 3 years later at 17. And Maria was born a year after that, of course. Okay. Her name even differs from his, so it's to be identified by her first name only because she fears the stigma surrounding mental illness and that her son's criminal charges could impact her eligibility as a renter. So I was just asking. You didn't make me mad. I'm not mad, Sam Cox. That's just my standard. If you want to donate, if you want a question answered, that's just the house rules. It's $20. I'm asking for $20. I'll go into the story if you want me to why I'm asking for $20, but it's going to take a little longer. So if you have $20, please send it. PayPal, Cash App. You have Cash App? Do you have Venmo? Whatever. I don't do Zelle so much. I'm not too fond of Zelle. I'm not too good with that. But I have PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. Whatever is good for you. It's a pretty lengthy story. The person is still alive. I think he's in a coma or something like that, Mr. Tom. But often in trouble with the law, he was deported when Murillo was young. That's his father. That first time, Juan remembers a judge ordered him not to return to the U.S. for 5 years. He came back about a year later. However, Murillo's younger sister was born in 1996. He would be deported twice before Murillo's younger sister was born in 2001. So this is just like a background of his daily life, growing up, being, part of the scene, part of the daily action, part of the daily, lifestyle of, being an immigrant's son. She obviously her plan. Juana, his mother, the idea was, to have him, he and his sisters, live the American dream. Okay, 1-1. One person viewing, one like. It's all right. Sorry for the shakes. Excuse me. Let me make sure it's straight too. All right, that looks pretty straight. Yeah. So Juana, worked at factory jobs and she had, spoken small bits and pieces of English over her days. She was hired as a waitress at one point. She tried to make a schedule, quote unquote, manageable. She said she worked 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., which meant that she took Maria and her sisters to school or daycare in the morning and then left for work. A babysitter watched them in the evenings. These are the 2010s. We fast forward to 2010. By the time Maria was in his early 1920s, the family had moved to Wilmington from unincorporated Newcastle County, renting a row house on North Adams Street, an area prone to violence. Look it up. Look up Wilmington, Delaware, 2014, murder capital of the I think of the United States. Let me make 100% sure. Just put murder capital. Just put Wilmington, Delaware, murder capital 2014. And see what comes up. This is what actually is a Newsweek article. Murder Town, USA, aka Wilmington, Delaware. Just put that in. Murder Town, USA, aka Wilmington, Delaware. You'll see it, what this state is working with. So, Maria was walking home from the riverfront, which is very populous and popular and very lighted and, bustling center of activity and cleanliness, and it's very far removed from the dark streets and slums of Wilmington. So he was shot, actually, going home, just coming back home. He was shot, and he was nearly hit. It was a near hit, not a near miss. It didn't. If it nearly missed him, it would hit him, and it did hit him. It was a near hit. It was a near miss. It was a. I guess it was. It was a near. It was a near miss, because it hit him. When you don't hit something, it's a near hit. So it was a near miss this time. All right, I had to clear that up. But yeah, so it hit his gym bag and a bottle of water that slowed the projectile down before it reached him. He was only 22 at the time. He's still alive. He survived the this attack. Nobody was nabbed for it. Nobody was taken down for it. But after that, they say it was his downfall. He just got worse and worse as it went on. His usage of marijuana, smoking the weed, smoking the devil, was it the devil's cabbage? Is that it? I think that's the proper term for it. I'm looking at Nigeria's team. Jesus Christ, these are some beautiful women. But anyway, yeah. So the article says it skyrocketed. It went up in the way that he started using his weed. His sisters first thought it was post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Wanda too thought her son was just traumatized from the shooting, but it seemed like it was worse. But as the months progressed, Mario got he deteriorated. He became more vague. This is from the article. Repeatedly telling his mom, "They're gonna kill us. They're gonna kill us." Though Maria was never specific about who exactly he thought would target them, she temporarily moved to North Carolina with her daughters. Maria, meanwhile, had decided to move to Virginia to work for a restaurant. Juana was hopeful that getting away from Wilmington would help her son. After 7 months in early 2017, he joined her in North Carolina. He was still convinced someone was going to kill her. That's when I started thinking, nobody wants to kill me. Are you crazy? Juana said. And then, like, every time I say, when people say I'm crazy, I say, yup, yes, I'm crazy. I got bipolar disorder. They actually released him on bipolar. I'm going ahead in the story, but he was supposed to be, having just schizophrenia, but he was released on bipolar disorder. He told his family that he was convinced that his family was dead, repeatedly telling Juana they had been killed. Um, Juana remembers, this is all from the article. Juana remembers arguing with her son, saying if they were really dead, he would report it to the police. He did, and when officers arrived at the home, Maria became aggressive toward them, Juana said, unquote. So he had, his run-ins with the law, his issues with law enforcement. That turned into an issue and a problem, so that, made things much worse. So is also from the quoting from the article. Okay, we're dead, she gently told her then 23-year-old son. I guess she said really, okay, we're dead. She gently told her then 20-year-old son. The cops, they are angels, and they're going to take you to a good place. You just have to follow them. That day, Maria was admitted to a psychiatric facility for the first time. It would begin a cycle that Juana worried would end with Maria dead or imprisoned. And it's called an insidious onset. That means that it over time gets worse and worse and worse and worse. That's schizophrenia. If it's not better, handled. That's the best way to say it. It doesn't mean you're taking your drugs. Doesn't mean you're seeing a psychiatrist. It just means you're handling your business. It's one of the best things I ever was taught or observed from one of the uh, officials, I guess authorities, at one of the staff members, I guess you could say, at the Rockford Center in Stanton, Delaware, is the fact that it's not you ask, are you taking your meds? And that's the first thing. Are you taking your meds? No, he never asked that. He always asks, and when he sees people in the street, are you handling your business? That's the most important thing. Are you handling your business? That's what's the most crucial point of mental health is. Are you handling your business? I'm handling my business. I'm taking the drugs. I'm doing these shows. I'm writing. I'm very productive. I don't have any racing thoughts or something I gotta do that's crazy and out of the box. It's very simple. It's not a problem. My life is great. I have a wonderful life. I have a great life. I lead a great life in these United States of America. And it's wonderful. I earn over $50K a year, and my only tax is Medicare. That's a fact. I haven't paid a tax since 2016. Facts. All true. It's a fact. I'm saying this so you can get pumped up too. I'm saying this so you can be selfish too. I'm saying this so you can be rational too. If you take your drugs, maybe. If you go to a psychiatrist, possibly. If you know what you're doing in your life and you can handle things without, using prescribed drugs or, seeing a therapist or something like that, then that's it. That's whatever you can do to make sure you're handling your business. You're trying to stay out of the psychiatric. You don't want. I mean, and it's not the best. It's the closest metaphor, because you're gonna go to a pit stop and you pretty much have to go to a pit stop. So I guess the pit stop is outside of the walls of a psychiatric ward, It is taking your drugs, going to a therapist, staying rational, eating well, drinking well, sleeping well, doing all those things that definitely keep you in good health. That's the most important thing in the world. What keeps you in good health, no matter what it is, that make sure you're handling your business. All right, let me see. This is from the article. Quote, typically manifesting in the teenage years or early 20s is often schizophrenia. Often begins earlier in men than in women. While researchers and doctors agree that there's no single cause, genetics definitely play a role, said University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine Dr. Yvette Shaline. Or Shaline. I think it's Shaline, though. These small genetic changes impact with environmental factors that are associated with increased schizophrenia risk, including childhood trauma and drug use, which can make a person more vulnerable to developing symptoms. Stress and trauma can also trigger the onset of worsening mental status, Shailene said, though trauma alone is not thought to cause schizophrenia. There it is. Get out of here. So this is all about, a very serious case. This is assault. He assaulted someone, Mario. He definitely assaulted someone because he has. But this is the case. Listen to this. As was the case for Mario, diagnosing the disease often isn't straightforward because schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and major depression can all have psychotic features. A diagnosis is usually based more on the course of the illness than specific symptoms, Shailene said. Schizophrenia typically has an insidious onset, she added, with months to years of decreasing functioning. Known as the prodromal phase, early signs include sleep disturbances, irritability, withdrawal from friends and family, distorted perception and anxiety, or excessive worrying that later develops into paranoia, all symptoms of other mental disorders and all issues that Mario had long dealt with. So he had just like a perfect storm, for lack of better phrasing, but like he just had the genetics apparently, the physical factors, the environmental factors that went on in his life, and that just combined to make a combustible sense of he's probably gonna lash out, and sometime he's gonna do something crazy. We don't they don't really say that. I'm waiting for the day. I always say to people, at least one time, somewhere, during all human history, at least, or at least in recent history or somewhere like that, last 200, 300 years, since psychiatry has been, they used to call it the philosophy of mind, since that has blossomed over the years, has any psychiatrist just said, you know what? You're crazy. You're crazy. I mean, you're crazy, right? You're crazy. Like I just wonder, out of the millions, maybe even over a billion, I don't know, people that have seen a doctor, for the philosophy of the mind or psychiatry or psychology, just said they're crazy. That's all you gotta say. We're done here. You're crazy. Get out of here. Here, take some and throw some pills at them, and then a bill. Say, take 2 of these. Call me in the morning and make sure the check clears. Like I don't know. Maybe it's never happened, but it may have happened. I don't know. All right. This is also from the article. As was the case for Mario. Diagnosing, I said it already. Schizophrenia typically has an insidious onset, she added, with months to years of decrease in functioning. Known as, I said this, did I say all this already? Let me get down here. Records from 2018 to 2019 show that Maria often believed that thoughts were being inserted or withdrawn from his mind. One psychiatrist also wrote that he suffered from persecutory delusions or false beliefs that he or someone close to him was being mistreated, harmed, or spied on. So those are definitely hallmarks of schizophrenia. When you're not sure what in the hell, you're thinking people are following you, you think people are out to get you, you think people are out to get your family and friends. That's a clear indication of somebody with schizophrenia. Because you're not sure what's going to happen. You're not sure what's happening. You're not sure if you could hurt yourself or you could hurt someone else. The famous singer, songwriter, one of my favorite singer-songwriters of all time, Sam Cooke, not Sam Cooke, excuse me, sorry about that, Donny Hathaway, excuse me, I don't even know where I'm going. See, I'm crazy, so that's not an example. But Donny Hathaway, he died by way of suicide. I think it was ruled when he was either leapt out of the window or was fell out of the window of a high-rise hotel and perished because he struck the ground from those heights. He had many famous songs like "One Day We'll All Be Free." A lot of people think that's more of like a racial thing, or a thing about black people being free from the bondages of racism, but really it's about being free from the bondage of mental illness. He couldn't escape it. It's sad. It was a tragic story for it was a tragic story for Donny Hathaway, but it doesn't have to be for me. It doesn't have to be for a lot of people. I'm good. I'm getting money. I'm talking to pretty women on the internet. That's the beauty. The Matrix. I'm in the Matrix right now. Right now, I'm talking to you, whoever you are, wherever you are. I'm talking to you, and that's important to me. I believe that's very beneficial. This is helping me. This is like therapy. This is therapy for me. I get views. I get money. I get a wider audience. I get people from Ireland and Denmark and Japan and Estonia. How can I, be, depressed or anything like that? I mean, you can be depressed if that were the case, but it's not the case with me. All right, back to the article. Psychotic episodes typically last days or weeks before a person enters a residual phase, or what some doctors call the recovery phase. Often, symptoms are similar to those in the prodromal phase, though some patients also become depressed as they become aware of their acute episode. Yeah, so it's serious. It's a trade-off. I'll probably be a lot thinner if I were not taking these psychiatric drugs. But I have to be careful. I can be thinner if I just limit my intake on different foods. Like tomorrow, I'm starting a whole new diet. I started a diet earlier in the year, and I was up to like 210. I'll get down to 2,000, 207. 210. Not the case for me now. I'm at like 200, 204, something like that. Got down to like 196 a few days ago. It was pretty cool. It worked well for me. Got down to 196. It was the truth. It helped out. So I have 0 viewers right now. This is how much people I have. Waiting for rebroadcast land. That goes up. And the likes go up too. 2 likes, it goes up to more likes. So I thought PayPal was universal. What's going on? Where's the donations? And then nigga Brian Cox. Oh, well, what are you using your donations for? What the hell does it matter to you, nigga? You gonna donate or not? And then you gonna say, oh, I was just asking. Didn't mean to make you mad. I'm not mad. I'm just telling you the truth. God damn, people are funny. Are you going to donate or not? If you're not going to donate, keep it moving. I don't need you. I'm here for the dollars. I'm here for the money. That's the only reason I'm here. I got $100 from this young man named Height. Or maybe he's an old man. I don't know. He might be older than me. But Height gives me $100 a month. Most months. He wasn't consecutive. He was $30 short last month, but he was on point this month. He gave me $100 in one day. You can do the same thing. Everybody claims, oh, I'm not broke. I got money. I got money. Oh, show it then. Donate. Shit. After the 8-day stay in August of 2017, he was prescribed antipsychotic sleep and anxiety medication, Juana said. He seemed to temporarily improve, and by the summer of 2018, Juana, Maria, and his younger sister had returned to Delaware. They had gone to North Carolina for a little while, I think it was. Yeah. Might have missed that detail. I was just trying to get to the issue of the actual psychiatric ideas. It's gonna keep going 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 0. I need a party. No party, I guess. Party was earlier, maybe. I don't know when or how. Sometimes this goes up to like 19, 20 people in here. Then it goes down to like 4. I have no idea how this thing works. I have no clue. I'm gonna admit that. I don't know why I have one person watching me right now, not saying anything in the comment section, just watching me. Now it's 0 people, but then again, it may not be 0 people. It could be 12 people, but they don't show it in the algorithm. So forget it. All right. It had been 2 years since the shooting, and Juana knew she wasn't in danger. Though Mario had stopped taking his medication, she didn't yet understand its importance and hoped that moving back to the state, a place her son was familiar with and where he still had some friends, would be beneficial. But just 3 months after relocating to Edgemoor in September 2018, Maria was again admitted to a psychiatric hospital. It would be the first of many stays at Rockford Center. Fall of 2018. The first hospitalization began as an involuntary hold, medical paperwork shows. Police had initially brought Mario to Recovery Innovations, an Ogletown crisis center for a 24-hour psychiatric detention. Under Delaware law, a peace officer or a credentialed mental health screener who believes a person with an apparent mental condition is a danger to themselves or others can initiate a 24-hour hold. Once at a hospital or crisis facility, patients who do not agree to voluntary treatment are supposed to be seen by a psychiatrist or credentialed screener, the person that determines what, if any, additional care is needed. Okay. Or that person then determines what. Okay. If a patient needs more care, they will be transferred to a psychiatric facility such as Rockford. And I've been there twice. Newcastle County has several psychiatric hospitals, while Kent and Sussex each have only one. So this is my interesting thing. That we call it LSD, Lower Slower Delaware. Kent County and Sussex County are basically, either cornfields or beach property. That's all Kent and Sussex counties really are. It's either farmland or beachfront houses and going along the shore. So I'm wondering how many people have psychiatric issues in those locales. Do they get treatment from a private doctor or I know the Rockford Center is private care, and that's another thing too. I got that for free. All my stays, I stayed in Meadowwood Psychiatric Center, the Veterans Affairs, Veterans Administration, whatever the case may be. I still don't know whether it's affairs or administration, but I don't think they know either. But I used my benefits as a honorable discharge Marine, and use it to my advantage. I didn't have to pay for either one of those stops. It would have been thousands of dollars for my insurance, or out of pocket. Like seriously, like $8,000. They don't play. For one thing, Rockford Center is their food is really good. Just a side note. Okay, there at Rockford, there are psychiatrists who evaluate the patient. If they deem a person mentally ill along the several other criteria, they can then admit them for a 48-hour provisional admission. The criteria include the person has been offered voluntary inpatient treatment and has declined such care or lacks capacity to voluntarily consent to treatment. Excuse me. As a result of the person's apparent mental condition, the person poses a present threat to themselves or others. Less restrictive alternatives have been considered and determined to be clinically inappropriate at the present time. Anything beyond this provisional administration requires a court order unless the patient agrees to treatment under those 48 hours. When Murillo was brought to Recovery Innovations, he was very manic and psychotic. Medical documents detail. As a result, he was transferred to Rockford Center. So, this is what's interesting. You get transferred to Rockford Center, and it's like GP. We call that general population. General population when you're in there. I mean, I didn't understand. I didn't notice any distinction between people that were had like criminal or could be criminal, or could actually hurt somebody. I didn't really notice it. Like I said, I seen a fight, or almost a fight, if the staff didn't break it up. But yeah, it's very open. It's not like you're barred off from if you have the tendency to try to hurt someone or yourself. So there, a psychiatrist found the 24-year-old to be threatening and hostile. Documents show he classified Murillo's capacity for self-harm or harm to others as severe. With antipsychotics and other medications, however, Murillo began to improve. He attended group therapy sessions and was engaged, discharged, papers says. After a week, the psychiatrist determined he was well enough to be released and diagnosed him with bipolar disorder. See? He was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. They don't make the right call sometimes. They don't make the call. They don't make the right call. I have bipolar disorder. I don't know what my paperwork says, but I've never shown myself to hurt myself or anyone else. Or if it was something like that, it wasn't severe. Whatever the case may be, but that's the truth for that. I'm looking for it saying who is he? He encouraged Murillo. Who is it? The psychiatrist. Okay, the psychiatrist encouraged Murillo to follow up with the center's partial hospitalization program, which provides intensive outpatient psychiatric services. Wanda doesn't believe her son followed through, given that 6 weeks later, in November 2018, Murillo voluntarily returned to Rockford for similar symptoms. The admitting psychiatrist who had seen him during the previous day noted Murillo wasn't as floridly psychotic as he had been a little more than a month earlier. He also downgraded Murillo's capacity to hurt himself or others to moderate to severe. Again, this is treading that sacred ground, that weird space where it's like you're trying to give him a leg up in the world. You're trying to give him a space to say he's not going to be a harm to anybody, he's going to be a harm to himself. But we see later on what happens. Wanda doesn't believe her son followed through. Given that 6 weeks later, in November 2018, Maria voluntarily returned to Rockford for similar symptoms. The admitting psychiatrist, I said that already. Maria did saw 2 patients early into the stay. I could have been one of those patients. They don't really seclude you. They don't, it's very lax to a point. I don't know if that's to their favor or not. That they're not trying to treat you like a prisoner, but you're very close to people. You're within touch. I don't know what it was like in 2020. COVID and everything, that must have been a nightmare. Must have been a goddamn nightmare. Because it's sad already that people are, depressed and lonely and sad and sick, and they have enough, gumption and enough wherewithal to go and seek help, to seek out somebody, to understand something about themselves. And they go to the Rockford Center. This is 2020. I'm saying this is separate from the story, but it's 2020, and you're around people that are really sick, and you could get sick. So you have to really be careful. It's very scary. I don't know how. I don't know. I was in at least 8 different psychiatric wards, maybe 7. Maybe it was 7, but twice with Rockford Center. With medications, Maria did improve. At the time of discharge, Maria was found to be at baseline with no active symptoms of psychosis, including delusions and paranoia. Goes on, right? The ball just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling, getting bigger and bigger. It's snowball effect, right? Snowball effect. It's like it hasn't crashed yet, but it's like building up, saying he's okay, he's not a problem, nothing wrong with him. This time he was referred to the former Connections Community Support Program, now Connexio Care, for outpatient treatment. Medical records show he didn't connect with the agency and was again hospitalized at Rockford later that same month. At the end of that 7-day stay, the admitting psychiatrist noted in a discharge report that Maria had agreed to an injectable monthly antipsychotic for what doctors still believe was bipolar disorder, and he appeared much better than during his 2 prior stays. Oh no! An injection? What is this? An injectable monthly antipsychotic? You don't have to take pills? Am I learning something here? Do I need to bring something up to my care team? I gotta remember that. Maria had agreed to an injectable monthly antipsychotic for what doctors still believe was bipolar disorder, and he appeared much better than during his prior stays. That may not be covered by the VUD, though. I don't know. All right, if I go to Rockford, will the VUD cover that? Outpatient. I know they'll cover inpatient, but I don't know if they'll cover outpatient. So I gotta still take, my prescribed drugs. It seems like. I don't know. I'm gonna bring it up to him now. I'm gonna bring him up. Question that the author asks: are things looking up? Early to mid 2019. This time, Maria followed through. Sounds good, right? Not long after his 3rd discharge, he began receiving care through one of Connections' assertive community treatment, I like to call it ACT, teams, the highest level of outpatient care offered through the state of Delaware. Comprised of social workers, psychiatrists, nurses, therapists, and peer recovery specialists, ACT teams are intended to provide patients with enough care that they can continue to live in the community rather than in a psychiatric facility. Okay, so was he getting psychiatric therapy from outside or inside? I have to still figure that out. If a client does suffer an acute psychiatric crisis and is hospitalized, their ACT team should provide intensive follow-up. Mario's family was optimistic. With the team's support, he remained on his medication. While his younger sister said it made him a muted version of himself, he wasn't aggressive like he had been. He was able to hold down a job and generally seemed happier. The biggest issue, his mother said, was weight gain. This is what I'm talking about. Right here, right in the gut. Right in the gut. Yes, I got my arms all right. My legs are okay. My face is kind of full. It was not, more chiseled. But breadbasket, tummy, it's an issue. I might take Ozempic. No, I don't need Ozempic. I just need to not eat so much. I eat a lot. I ate a lot this weekend. It was my niece's birthday, so we celebrated with food, of course. Brisket, burgers, hot dogs, cake, all that good stuff. I'm drinking all kinds of juices and teas and lemonade and everything, so I understand. I'm probably going to go up, in weight tomorrow morning. But it's all right, because I'm going to go down. I'm going to go way down. I'm going to go down, I'm not going to eat again until August 30th. Maybe 31st. No, there's no 31st, excuse me. August 30th. And then September 1st. There is an August. I know there was an August 31st. So I think July and August. Yeah, July and August are the only 2 months that are back-to-back 31st of the calendar year. Because December and January are not in the same year. So, but they are back-to-back months. But I just got confused. Today was like, I was like the 3rd, it's the 4th. I'm all over the place. But there is August 31st, okay. Okay, just had to make 100% sure. Alright, so 2. I get 2 viewers, and it goes down to 1, then it goes down to 0. But this story, it just caught my eye. I can relate to it. I see what it's like. The weight gain is serious. It says, after years of childhood bullying, Mario had become almost obsessive about the gym in his teens. He'd managed to shed his childhood pounds, keeping the weight off into his 20s. Most first and second generation psychotics cause rapid weight increases, though, and Mario was no exception. Soon he had gained upwards of 100 pounds. See, I didn't get that deep. My highest weight gain was probably like 40 pounds, 50 pounds maybe. But like I said, beautiful butterscotch. She's still a beautiful soul. Bless her heart. She looks like she can't keep the pork chops out of the pan, She's good. She's a beautiful soul though. She has a great. I think the psychiatric issues have really taken a damper on her life. She was like really positive and really now she's like F you to stuff. I'm like, dang, it's like that girl. Dang, you getting mad? I was like, God damn. But I still mess with her. She's the truth. I don't know if she's in the, her handle is Butterscotch Music on Instagram. She has 23 followers, 23.1 thousand followers. She looks totally. She cut off all her hair. She used to have sides and like a poofy pompadour kind of look, and then she just looks so big right now. She looks huge. Like I probably look huge to people too, but people are quiet. People don't hate. I need to hate. I need you to motivate me. Somebody needs to motivate her because she looks totally different. And that's because of the psychiatric drugs that she takes. I have to give her credit at least. So it's just a sad situation with her. And it reminds me of me, and I was reminded with this Mario case. It's really sad and unfortunate. She looks totally different. She doesn't look like the same little girl, little young woman. She's not like a girl, like a minor, but she's a female that is sadly going through a psychiatric issue. It's very sad. It's very sad. Let me get back to this Mario case. Eventually, Juana's pleas to continue with his medication fell on deaf ears. In the summer of 2019, Mario gave up the antipsychotics and slowly began to deteriorate, a cycle that will continue for 4 more years. Given he hadn't yet been diagnosed with schizophrenia, however, Juana had no way of knowing that the disease only worsened if left untreated, with episodes and symptoms increasing in frequency and severity. Yet even with the proper diagnosis and extensive knowledge about the disease that most family members don't have, Juana never would have imagined that her son, a man who said would go out of his way to help anybody, would nearly kill someone. All right, here's the story. Here's where the Pulitzers start coming in. The author says November 2023. It was a chillier than usual Monday morning in mid-November 2023 when Mario approached the bus stop on Rising Drive in Edgemoor. Thanksgiving was 3 days away, which meant some residents had already taken off for the holiday. For Mr. Tom, that's all we got, and a woman who rides to work, same Price's Corner bound bus as him, it was just another workday. Delaware Online News Journal does not typically identify crime victims or witnesses. Thus, this newspaper is not naming the woman and only identifying the victim by what she calls him. The duo initially paid little attention as Maria lumbered toward them. Their 6:34 a.m. bus would arrive momentarily and they'd soon be out of the cold. Sunrise was still more than 20 minutes away, and a light breeze made the 32-degree weather just a little crisper. As Mario neared, they noticed his mumbles but were largely unconcerned. They assumed he had earbuds in and was speaking to someone. The woman later told police he was agitated, but having never encountered Mario before, they didn't believe his commentary was directed at them. He also didn't acknowledge them when he walked by, instead beelining for a turquoise bench near the bus stop. As he passed, the woman noticed Mario didn't have earphones in. He didn't see a cell phone, she would tell detectives. Sitting down, Mario pulled out a breakfast sandwich he had bought earlier that morning at 7-Eleven just down the block. Through bites, he continued mumbling. "You think you're a gangster?" The woman remembers him saying, "I'm going to show you gangster." Moments later, the woman spotted a metal baseball bat that detectives believe had been hidden in the sleeve of Mario's sweatshirt. She watched as the young man wielded it, hitting Mr. Tom in the head. Let me pause right now at the hour mark. I can't own a gun that I know of. If you have a mental illness or you've ever been admitted to a psychiatric ward for whatever amount of time, I have to look up, I have to research it. I didn't research it because I don't need a gun. If I do need a gun, I will research it and see if I can actually own one. But when I was talking about getting a gun, the psychiatrist said, or the doctor, he said, no, you're gonna have to get a bat. He said you're gonna have to get a bat. I was like, oh, okay. I just took that. Now we get Mr. Murillo. He has a bat, but he's not using it in self-defense. He's using it as a psychotic episode and offense against this perfect stranger. This complete stranger. She screamed and ran home, where she dialed 911. She didn't see how many times Murillo hit Mr. Tom, but a Newcastle County detective would later testify that video surveillance showed he was buzzing definitely more than 28 times and maybe over 30 some odd times. The only reason the 64-year-old survived, Detective opined, was because wielding the bat was fatiguing. He was getting tired of whooping his ass with a bat. That's crazy, right? Murillo, he said, appeared to have tired and began kicking Mr. Tommy for running away. When he was arrested just a few blocks away soon after the attack, Murillo had blood on his sneakers, numerous pieces of clothing, a duffel bag, and several other items, court documents say. The bat was also found nearby. He was charged with attempted murder and remained in prison for more than 7 months. In late May, a Newcastle County judge ordered his transfer to the Delaware Psychiatric Center's inmate ward, okay? DPC. He was transferred in late June. This is like, I can do knives, I can do bats, I can't do guns, but it's all for the same purpose. If that were to happen, it would be to hurt myself or someone else. Hit myself over the head with a bat, or slice my wrists, or my neck, my throat. But we'll pick up on the story tomorrow. I'll tell you a little bit more about the Murillo case, and hope you can enjoy it. I didn't get much money today. I didn't get any money today, but I get paid anyhow anyway. So thank you very much. Take care.